Are we on?
Yeah.
Okay, we are. Sorry, my apologies. Okay, everyone, we are live. Let's do it. Okay, we'll call to order the June 15th, 2026 meeting of the South Kingstown Parks and Recreation Commission. Here tonight we have Matthew Frazier, Joanne Blessing, and myself, Will Litvin, and from staff, Terry Murphy, Rex Everly, and Leica Kapek, and Jeff Banks. And welcome guests, or guest. Did anyone have a chance to review the minutes of the May 18th meeting? And if so, would you like to move said minutes?
I would move to accept said minutes.
Motion by Matt,
I'll second it.
second by Joanne. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Okay. And we're gonna go, in conjunction with correspondence and public comment, we're gonna move, new business item 2 up to the top of the agenda this evening. And that item is a request from Caprice Renshaw for permission to operate a mobile food establishment at Marina Park from the hours of 9 a.m. until noon, Monday through Friday throughout the summer. And Caprice is here today. We have a letter from you. So welcome, Caprice. And if you'd like to address the commission and tell us a little bit about your operation and what you're looking to do, that would be great.
Do I have to stand?
Nah,
Okay.
only if you want to.
I have a 7x12 coffee trailer that we opened in the past couple of months. We serve premium cold brew as well as matcha, and our whole branding is tied around New England, so the name is Coffee with a K. Tagline, a New England thing, and we're looking for a place in South Kingstown to operate that necessarily isn't tied to any groups. I was looking in the ordinance and I didn't see anything. I know that like in other towns there are some areas that you can operate, so I was just curious if that was possible in Marina Park or if there were any suggestions for South Kingstown.
Where are you currently operating?
So currently we are in Narragansett a couple days a week through a private business, and then throughout the past couple of months we've been collaborating with other local businesses like Muse Tavern. We've done a couple pop-ups with them and Go Pasta, as well as what's the farm on Route 1 that just got bought out over there?
Highland Farm?
Yep, Highland Farm. And then we've also done other locations throughout the state, other farms and businesses as well.
And you guys do like special events or?
Yeah, so we'll be at the Blessing. We have some events lined up with the PVD Fan Zone, and then we have another, it's Intention Fest in South Kingstown at the end of the year.
Yeah, that has a
That's awesome.
special use permit for food
Is
trucks.
that usually at Saugatuck Park? Still?
Yeah, so we have some other festivals lined up for later in the year and bigger events, but
Oh, yes, so Caprice and I have spoken via email and have chatted a little bit this evening, and I did let her know that the Rec Commission does have a policy in terms of food trucks and concessions in general, and the policy is that any mobile food establishments, for being permitted to be in a park, need to be associated with either a local league who is either renting or has reserved the facility, or an event that's going on, like some of the events that Caprice has spoken about. So right now, that is pretty much the extent of the policy when it comes to food trucks in the parks. We have, as a department, in past years, put out bid advertisements for parks that have like regular activities ongoing, like West Kingston Park has the Adult Rec Softball League, Flag Football League on Friday nights, at Old Mountain Field, Broad Rock, Tuckertown, and Curtis Corner, because those are all large kind of athletic facilities that a lot of people come and go, particularly on weekends or on evenings.
But only tied to those certain event nights.
Tied to the league
And
or
she's
program
looking for a
itself.
she's looking for a morning, so.
Yeah, there's no lead.
Or like a Monday through
Yes.
Friday. Yeah.
Right, so you're looking for something
More like a
little
regular
permanent.
location
Yeah.
where you could
Right.
operate the business out of.
Yeah.
Okay.
But my point is that we had to go out to bid, we asked for bids from vendors, similar to what we did with the Town Beach contract with Vinnie's Mobile Food Shack. He bid on that for 2 seasons.
Right.
He was awarded the bid. There was another bidder also. We allowed for 2 vendors, but the other bidder only bid for 1 year. So that vendor is not back this year. It's just
Okay.
Vinnie. But we do have a process so that there's, equity is an issue. It's because it's a slippery slope. If
Right.
one food vendor is allowed to come and set up shop for a regular, activity, then it opens the door, and is it what the commission's, sees as something that would be beneficial to the parks, or would it be something that then could become an issue or problematic if it's related to things like other brick and mortar places that may be in proximity to the park that could pose competition. Those are the things that I think the commission has to consider from a policy standpoint. I would encourage Caprice to look at the local leagues, particularly like in the fall with the
Yeah.
soccer and all of and that's mornings,
Captive audience.
There's parents that are in dire need of a cup of coffee when they bring their kids to the 8 a.m. Tuckertown games. But in terms of a regular daily spot
Yeah.
in a park, that is something that,
It's outside of the, what's
as it stands now, it is. I mean, I do think that we did not go out to bid for these other parks this year, because last year and the year before we did, and we only got a bid for the Town Beach because of the volume of patronage. I think a lot of food trucks that have probably a higher level of
Like waste or.
yes, and they have to purchase more, they have to prepare for it. Well, how do you prepare if you're just going to a park and you're not really sure what the level of attendance is?
Right.
And then having all that food stuff and not being able to sell it. So for some, it's not worth it unless it's more of an event like the 4th of July or the summer concerts. That was another one, the summer concerts at the Town Beach.
Because even the concessions within are operated by independent food providers.
Yes, and we were
Right.
challenged also to
Yeah.
get people to run the Broad Rock and the West Kingston concession buildings. We haven't had
Yeah.
vendors in those buildings in quite some time.
Yeah.
Whereas when we went out to bid the last time, we specifically noted that we would entertain bids from mobile food vendors, thinking we might get
Yeah.
a lemonade truck or like a coffee truck or
Sure.
something in the evenings at these locations, or
When
the
there are people
afternoons.
there.
Yeah.
But so what you're saying is they're all pretty much tied to either special events or ongoing
That is our policy now.
events right now.
There's
yeah.
no,
Okay.
we don't permit for
Like a 9 to 5.
a standard,
no.
you can be here for
Right.
X number of hours, 5 days a week, or whatever it might be. If the commission wants to look at our policy, it just would be something we'd have to give a lot of thought to in terms of what parks, where are they, like I said, are they close to other businesses? Is it what's best for the
Yeah.
for the
And is it
parks?
something we'd have to go out to bid for to provide equity?
Yeah, we probably would at that point, right? Would we not?
More than likely, that would be
Yeah.
the road
Proper way
you'd
to
Because
go
we can't
down.
just grade Caprice, especially, and then another provider, they could be like, oh, you.
Correct.
Yeah.
Which is why we had to do that with the Town Beach and put it out to bid, because
Okay.
that's a valuable little,
Right.
site.
Or is there like a street, so like for example in Narragansett, there are like a couple of streets that you can pull up your mobile food truck and you can
Oh, there
sell.
are?
Yeah, well, there's
Yes.
hot dog, there's hot dog, there's a hot dog.
Yeah, you
cart and
can,
stuff
there's
near
literally
Town
like,
Beach.
near Town Beach, you can pull up as long as you have the Narragansett town license.
Like a Victor,
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
So,
yes.
like,
Do
I'm
we have
just
that here? Do we
curious.
have- Can somebody on a that's outside of our purview, but I would
That's
just.
my because
Yeah,
that was
do
great.
we know about that? Could she do
Um,
something like that?
That's why I kind of came up with Marina Park as
Yeah.
like for example, I know Main Street's
Right.
actually a state
It
street,
may,
And
but like, whatever.
Or you think
No,
of
it's-
like, you
Is
think
our
of like
beach
the
have
Dells location
Well,
at
they
like
have an
the
RFP.
Route 2 and
Yeah.
130.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there are spots like that, but
No, it's a good idea, but I
It is
think
a good idea.
that Terry makes a good point with the policy being what it is, you know, and then us being, if that were the case, then we would have to put out an RFP for
Mhm.
anyone to then,
Mhm.
you know, bid on that.
but you've attached to other businesses like
Yeah, so
like,
you can be in a
and there are some
private.
great there. I mean,
Yeah,
there are
you
some
could do
great ones that you
private.
could approach like I'm thinking of like Whaley's Farm Stand.
Yeah.
Might be really good. They have
Yeah.
they get so much traffic.
Yeah.
You know, on Route 1, that's a really nice spot, and I'm sure there are a lot of other possibilities in that direction.
Yeah, but I understand the desire to
Farmer's
have like a
Daughter,
like a steady Monday
Yeah.
through Friday. This is where you're gonna be,
Yeah.
and then
build
people
my
know
life
it.
around
and
Yeah.
then so it's not like you're bouncing around all the
Yeah.
time. It just seems as though the policy is such that we
Yeah.
wouldn't be able to grant that.
Yeah, for the park.
the
yeah, I'm
parks.
looking at the ordinance, the zoning ordinance, but it doesn't speak to, at least in this section,
Public
rights of
use.
way. You know,
Yeah.
parking on a right of way to do that. I do think it's limited. I don't know that there's any street in town that would allow for a food vendor to,
Yeah,
park
right on the
and-
street.
right?
But something like, I mean, in that park, you've got the marinas there, you might be able to make an arrangement with them.
I mean, at the
Right there.
town council level, it would be interesting to see if they do want to designate a street or a right of way or an area specific to allow for operations like Caprice's or other mobile food vendors to be a more regular presence. Like, for example, my sister lives in Austin, Texas, and it's like Food Truck Central, and they have their coffee truck that they go to like every
Yeah.
day.
And like you
Um,
said, you have social, I'm assuming you use social media and
Yeah.
people,
Oh, yeah.
people find out where you are on that day
Yeah,
and will
and
come to you.
that's-
That would bring people to the town.
Yeah, it's been very powerful, and I've had people come from Warwick, Providence to come visit, and other foodie type people that are in that world. I think it also gives business people the opportunity. I'm only 27, so it gives me the opportunity to pilot something without committing to such a high rent in
Yeah.
this area.
Totally.
Yeah, that's a
It's
great.
very tough to find commercial space between Wakefield and Narragansett, but also something, and I still come from real estate, that's how Will and I know each other, but location is so important. So it's like trying to find the right place without committing, and still to open up a coffee shop, you're putting up almost $90,000
Wow.
up front before you even get something open. So
Right.
I think I tell people all the time, if you're thinking about doing something, it gives you an opportunity to kind of do a food concept, and you can be a little bit more creative because you're not constantly worried about the other overhead that comes with opening up a spot. So that's where I'm at. But that's why I feel like there's a little bit of a gray area for the South Kingstown. It wasn't necessarily straightforward on if you could, if you couldn't, or if there's a place that you could be. If you have your MFE through South Kingstown, because you can be in private businesses, and I've done that. But just looking for something more to do our own thing, especially because a lot of the events are at nighttime, so it is tough.
Especially if you have a water, someplace with a water view is nice.
I know, I think that's a beautiful park, and it's kind of out of the way, and it's not real, and there's decent parking, so that's
Yeah.
another thing.
Yeah.
But that's where I'm at, and so, I don't know. If they have any recommendations on what I could do or can't do or anything, or maybe, if I need to ask town council or
You know,
something.
I can certainly, I can talk to the building of the zoning official and see
Okay.
if, actually, I did leave them a call today because I looked this up, and I think there's other sections of the Code of Ordinances that may spell out a little more clearly the particulars about being on a right-of-way and who can and who cannot. This
Yeah.
is the whole peddlers, thing too, where they can't set up shop and sell wares type of
Right.
thing. So, I'll look into that, and we can continue to keep in
Yeah, of
touch. And
course.
then, like I said, we're open to you connecting with the concerts.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
we have the one for later in the summer. That
Yep,
was
the one in
very-
August, right?
August,
Yeah,
We're
that's right, you're doing that one.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
good.
Awesome.
But yeah, that's what I.
Yeah, well, I mean, we definitely, want to support, small business
Mhm.
and, and also, obviously, folks, I mean, you're not a South Kingstown resident, but maybe future South Kingstown
Yes.
resident, and obviously any opportunities that we could offer to, have you at some of our special events would be
Awesome.
more than welcome. And then maybe, just like Terry was saying, if there is a policy change or an RFP that comes around, we would love to see you apply for it and be able to operate out of one of the parks.
Awesome. Okay. Thank you, guys.
Yeah,
Awesome,
Thank
thank you
you.
so much.
Yes, nice to
I'll
meet
be in
you.
touch.
We're
Yes,
gonna
we'll be
we'll
in
come
touch.
find you for coffee.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
Okay, guys, we'll bounce around a little bit. We'll go back to section D, correspondence and public comment. We
Excuse
have,
me.
oh, I'm sorry, Terry.
That's okay. I'm thinking, do you want to make a motion? Can we have a motion on
Oh.
this that just indicates that,
Per our
there were
policy
no,
manual.
yeah, that,
Yeah.
a permit was
That
not
we can't.
granted.
Okay.
Yeah, can I make a motion to say that we were unable to offer a permit to this business owner because it was outside of our policy and
Yeah, sounds reasonable to me.
And I'll second it.
Okay, motion
Okay,
by
thank
Matt, second by Joanne. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Item 2 is taken care of. Okay. Thanks, Terry.
Thank you.
Okay, guys, we'll bounce back up to D then. Item number 1 is an email from Jay O'Leary regarding art teacher Amy James.
Yes, so we love to share great feedback, and I think it's important for us, or for the commission to know that we do get this feedback. Sometimes, it's easy to get the complaints and address them, but it's nice to be able to highlight our staff and our independent contractors. And this came from, I'm assuming it's a dad who had great things to say about Amy James, and Amy runs our Art and Soul camps and our Art and Soul program, which is an after-school program now. She's been with the department for many, many years, and does a fabulous job with her summer camps. And does she do schools out camps too sometimes? Vacation camps? Not yet, but she's started the
She does
after-school
after-school
program
programs.
here. She's extremely creative and talented, and she loves to share her talent with the young people in our town. So this gentleman was highly complimentary, referring to her as a true gem in our community. So we
Nice.
just wanted to share that one with you.
Great. Well,
Yeah.
I will second that, and I know Amy personally, and my daughter Ella is one of her art teacher assistants and has
right.
been
Yeah.
doing her in-house art classes
Yeah.
for many, many years, and she's
Yeah, she cultivates her assistants
yeah,
as they
she
come
does.
up.
She is amazing.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, she just came to all the she goes to their graduations when they,
Yeah.
she's just a real sweetheart.
Yeah, we're glad to have her.
Love her. Okay.
fantastic.
Item 2 is a note from L. Gilhaney regarding the rec center staff. Another nice letter.
Yes.
Handwritten too.
Nice, happy.
Handwritten,
letters.
yeah, and she really just, and it was written to the entire, as she put it, quote, wonderful SK Rec Center staff. Thank you so very much for all that you do each day to make the lives of our community, young and old, a better and happier place to live. And I
That's
think that
great.
says a lot about the people who work at the rec center, particularly our part-timers who are they're the face of the rec center. They're the ones at the front desk as people come in, greeting, welcoming, helping, assisting, and so this is very nice to see too. We wanted to share that.
Absolutely. Yeah, as a music school student, I have to say that my interactions with the front desk are great.
Yeah, we have good team.
Coincides with our overall mission statement, so it's great. Okay, guys, and finally, a message from the SK Parks and Rec staff wishing Deputy Director.
Oh, wait a minute, you skipped one.
Oh, wait.
Julie
Oh, I'm
McGrath,
sorry.
Also complimentary.
Oh, I'm sorry, yes, email from Jay McGrath regarding work done at Tuckertown Park. Then we'll get to Rex's next.
And
And those tennis courts,
So we're really
nice.
That's
spreading
the
the
last.
love this month because this is with regard to the Parks Division and them taking care of the Tuckertown tennis courts. You know, being responsive is important for what we do especially. And Jeff was on it in, I don't know, a day or two, I think. And people appreciate that when they know they're being heard and we can get it done. And so it's always nice, though, to have the acknowledgement that it was done.
Yeah.
And so we appreciate Julie McGrath, and we appreciate Rex and Jeff and their staff.
It's a balancing act when we're short-staffed, and we know we have a routine that we need to keep up with, but these things come in,
Yeah.
and we gotta try to fit them in. Jeff does a great job of pulling staff when needed, you know, to attend to these things that other people notice that,
Right.
and people really appreciate it. And it's so nice when we get appreciation letters like this.
Yeah, it is.
Well done.
Yeah,
Thank you,
because
guys.
oftentimes you'll do that and you never hear anything back,
Right.
I'm sure. So, it's nice,
Excuse me.
nice to highlight all the extra
Yeah.
things you guys do.
Okay, and finally, a message from South Kingstown Parks and Rec staff wishing Deputy Director Rex Eberly a very happy retirement.
If I may.
You may.
This is Rex's final Recreation Commission meeting after 32, how many, 30?
30 years.
30 years, just 30, okay, 30 years, just 30, with the town. And personally, I really want to just thank Rex for everything that he's done over his 30 years. I've been here for almost 17 of them. I can't believe I'm saying that. But he's been such a steady, what's the word with a boat? Not the anchor,
The helm?
the helm. He's really guided the Parks Division and the department over these years and grown the parks. He's seen the park system grow incredibly over the time that he's been here. Green Hill, Curtis Corner,
Broad Rock,
Broad Rock,
West Kingston.
West Kingston, the bike path has expanded. He was part of all of those major expansions and, you know, great add-ons to this town and the quality of life in this town. And I just can't say enough about working with Rex as a colleague and coming in and knowing, you know, he had parks. When I came in as a new person, I did not have to worry one iota about what was going on in the parks, and I've learned a great deal from Rex, and his demeanor and his overall attitude is second to none. And that, no, it really is, Rex, and that it trickles down to his whole staff, and Jeff would probably concur, an amazing leader. And so we're gonna miss him terribly, but I know Jeff's gonna be able to take the baton and carry on. But Rex, we really want the best.
Thank
for
you so much,
for the
Terry.
next- The next however many years, hopefully it's a lot of years with your family and doing fun and exciting things.
Just a little bit of a recap. So I started with the town in '93 as park foreman. It was basically just Brian Kelly and I were the two full-time year-round employees. And then we had a handful of seasonal employees. And our office was in the basement of Peacedale Office Building. That was our workshop, that was our office. That we parked equipment in the parking lot. We had 2 garages up back here that we parked equipment, and that's what we did. And we had basically Old Mountain Field, Tuckertown Park, and Town Farm Park were our major parks. And so I was in the foreman position for 4.5 years, and I got an offer from my previous employer who did landscape construction I couldn't refuse. at the time I was raising a young family. I needed more money, so I went back there for about 3 years, and I came back to this position as park superintendent. The previous park superintendent, Dave Pincinel, he was leaving, and I had worked under him. He had been here, I think, maybe 4 or 5 years. He called me and said, hey, I'm leaving, and you would be a good fit for this job. So I started back here in 2000 and been, so 26 consecutive years, but overall it's been 30 years that I've been with the Parks Department. And it's, you know, I say this wholeheartedly, is I can't think of a better way I'd like to spend my career. Doing good for the community, just getting nice letters like this. Always feel like I can interject my own personal interest into improving the parks. I played high school football on Old Mountain baseball field. You know, I have an interest in hiking and cycling and just everything about the parks and the community. I feel like I've been able to have a positive impact. So I can't think of a more rewarding career than what I've had. So.
Can I ask for more than that?
Well, speaking from the commission, I just want to say, you know, what a huge honor it is to have had you working here and taking such good care of the parks wherever we have ever gone. We have gotten so many compliments on the way our parks are kept so incredibly neatly, and our buildings too. You've taken such great care of our buildings and rallied the troops when work had to be done. And Terry said, your leadership has just kept, I think, our whole community really with some of the finest parks and buildings. And, you know, the school departments have relied on you too, and then they put more responsibilities on you too. So workers always get more work, but you have taken such good care of this community, and it has not gone unnoticed.
And to add as a father of a skateboarder, it's like you were open-minded enough to see that there was a large need for a skate park, and that skate park has also grown so much over the years, with like coming up to the most recent, the half pipe for Trevor, and just to allow them to kind of put their own, you know, they do graffiti and skulls and crossbones and whatever oddball stuff that skaters do. It's like you're open-minded enough, accepting enough to allow them to have that space, and at the same time make sure it's safe. And
Totally.
you know.
Disc golf before disc golf was even
Yeah.
a thing, so
Yeah.
you're always on that cutting edge.
And you know, I say this too, is everything that I've been able to do, I'm not doing it by myself. It's all about knowing who to connect with, and, you know, whether it be contractors or relying on quality staff and knowing who's got the ability to do things. That's what it's all about. It's really making connections.
Is that why you have 2 phones?
Yeah. A
Seeing
burner.
seeing
Yeah.
talent, and you're able to cultivate
And
it.
it really is. It's all about connections and knowing, you know, when to rely on other people, and that's really how and surround myself with good people. Success is easy when you have good people around you. So that's. Yep.
Well, he's an icon because everybody knows Rex. He's the one,
Yeah.
you don't need to know his last name, it's just Rex.
Yeah.
In South Kingstown, if you know the name Rex, you know it has to do with parks and the bike
Oh.
path and.
We, you know, John Beafor and I dub it Parks and Recs. Rex, I just want to say on behalf of myself and, you know, commissioners past and present, you know, what an unbelievable, you know, achievement your career and service to the town has been. And, you know, as somebody, I mean, even, you know, before I was on the commission, you know, just, you know, raising my family in this town. And, you know, when people think about what's so great about South Kingstown, you know, that differentiates us from other places. And obviously, you know, we have, you know, beautiful vistas and beaches and good schools and everything like that. But I think that if folks really thought about it, the quality of the parks and recreation services in this town is just unbelievable. And I'm told that all the time. And I mean, you know, we're touching so many different facets of the community, from seniors down to toddlers, and, you know, being able to navigate this over 30 years and grow our parks in a very mindful way. And just like Matt was saying, listen to the needs of the community, know which things, the direction that things can go, and really to cultivate what really is in the best interest. And it's coined very perfectly in this letter that we have in our packet today, is just improving the lives of everybody in our town. And I think that there's no doubt about that. Just like Terry says, they may not know who you are, but they could feel it by living here. And we really appreciate it, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah. And I just hope that, it's as in the last 5 or so years, it's become more and more difficult to keep things to the standard that people have come to expect and that I expect.
Yeah.
And we are, the park staff is probably working more efficiently and harder than I've ever seen, and I feel like we're losing ground. So, we have more responsibility and less staff than we've ever had.
That's not unique to our town, though.
I know.
I mean, it's unique to a lot of different facets of municipalities, and obviously, just like who mentioned, the Parks Department being pulled in other directions outside of Parks and Recreation.
Yeah.
The Highway Division, the schools,
Yep. So it'll be a unique challenge for Jeff too,
Yeah.
to keep things going in the right direction.
We'll do our best to support him.
Great.
The word is rudder.
Rudder.
Rudder. I just want to make that clear. It's not the anchor, it's the rudder.
Yeah.
Well, now that you're retired, don't get stuck in the mud, right?
All right. Well,
Thank you very much.
thank you.
Thank you, Rex.
Okie dokes. Well, we're not going to be able to top that, even with item E, our monthly financial report.
Come on.
But that's where we're headed next,
on.
guys. Oh,
The good news is, we've already hit our programming revenue budget.
Is this year end, actually?
No.
Next month.
Next
Next
month,
month.
you'll
Okay,
see
next
the
month.
end of June.
Okay.
So, I can run through this fairly quickly, but we're in great shape on the programming revenue side. Like I said, we've already exceeded our budget for this fiscal year. We're over that $1 million mark. Last year was the first year we hit in excess of $1 million. Now, things cost more, yes, but I think we're also expanding into different areas that we haven't before, so it's showing in our various programming categories. The Guild is flourishing. I can't say it enough. And the Rec Center too, in terms of programming there and rentals, and then of course all of our outdoor recreation department programs as well. So we're in very good shape on our programming revenue side. Facilities too. So we'll definitely hit our facility goal. We're ahead of where we were last year by about 9%. We're at 89% of our revenue goal, and the town beach is definitely in a better situation than last year. We're at 78% of our revenue, where last year at this time we were at 59%. So we definitely are improving there. We're having a good weather month for June, so we will see that come close, if not exceed, our revenue budget for the town beach. Park rentals have already exceeded the revenue budget. So we're in fine shape overall on the revenue side. Same thing with the outside revenue funds. That is what it is mainly. That's the Guild Trust fund is the big one there, and that number's set. It's just a matter of when it gets transferred over to our department, when it hits the financial report. Any questions on revenue?
Great.
On the expense side, we're in fine shape for being 11 months into the fiscal year. We're at, hover around, 80 to 85% of total budget for the general fund and the Guild. And then PDOB, we've got money there. We do put money in capital. Sometimes we don't spend it in the fiscal year, but it just falls to the PDOB bottom line. It stays within that fund, so it doesn't go anywhere. And then the Rec Center, we're at 95% of budget, which is close, but we also have exceeded our revenue, and We are now closed on Sundays. We start to taper. We're closing earlier in the evenings as we move into summer, so we won't see as a heavy expenditure for the month of June for the rec center.
Just a side note on that one, just to bring up again, I hear from a lot of the kids in town, younger kids that I see at the youth center, that there's a need for something in the evenings for kids in town. And if the rec center could play a part in that at some point, there are a lot of people that would work to make it.
We'll explore it. And in the summertime, we tend not to have that building open too late because.
Makes sense, you have to air condition it and everything.
Yeah.
It's really nice.
Okay. We're beyond, we're beyond where we can do anything about problem accounts, if we had problem accounts. We're okay because we had transferred some funds into the park overtime account, and we did budget accordingly for the upcoming year. So, year-end, finance department is starting to look at the full year-end projection, and we're good. We're not at all in any trouble being over budget. And I say that, but we also have to I want you to understand, it doesn't mean we're good that we have enough money, because we don't have enough staff in many instances. In some instances, particularly parks, it would be nice if we could have more seasonal and more full-time, and that's my role, to talk to administration and see what we can do as we move into the next fiscal year, to make sure we have what we need at rec side to keep up with what we, the standards, and the standards that the community expects. Sale office building, we're good there. That's at full capacity, and there was no activity in the Friends account in the last month either way, so nothing to report there. Any questions?
Make a motion to approve the financial report.
Motion by Joanne. A second. Motion by Matt. Any further discussion? There you go. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None? So moved. Okay. Item F, Old Business 1, Old Mountain Field Improvement Project Status Report from OMF.
Yeah, I'm gonna let Rex give most of this update, because he's been on site regularly. I mean, I drive by and I drive in, and it's progressing very well. E.W. Berman, who is the contractor, is staying on the timetable that they had set once they got going, and that is October timeframe for having them. If you've driven by, you've seen that there's framing going up. There's been a lot of jackhammering of ledge that was discovered.
So, yeah.
Not for the building itself, but for the seating area. But I'm gonna hand it over to Rex, since this is gonna be his last update on Old Mountain Field.
Yeah, so that, add to what Terry was mentioning about jackhammering for the bleacher area. That is, the jackhammering for that area, all the ledge has been removed that needed to be removed. All the footings and foundation walls and everything are pretty much in place for the entire bleacher area. They're just finishing up a couple of retaining walls. Like Terry said, the building framing is well underway. Any of the work on the lower portion down by the basketball court is pretty well done. That's all seeded and everything. So now it's just a matter of hoping the seed takes. I doubt it's going to be a healthy stand of grass by 4th of July with this hot, dry weather we have. It is what it is. I think
Are you gonna have to ward that area off?
I don't think it would be feasible to cordon that area off. As a matter of fact, we've got to open it up even more. In talking to public safety, we are having to remove most of the softball outfield fence to allow crowds to be able to come and go through that area because of the blocked off area between the baseball and softball field. So that's another whole project that's kind of been added into this.
Yeah. posts stay, but the fence rolls up, or?
So
How does
the,
that work?
the contractor, E.W. Berman, gave us a price to remove the left field fence along the left field, the third base line, from like the dugout up to the corner to the outfield fence. Leave the posts in place, but remove all the fabric there. And then the right field side from the construction fence down over to the right corner where the double gate is, remove all of that fencing. The left field side, that fence can probably be reused, but the outfield fence, that 10-foot high fabric, it's in such tough shape, that can't be reused, so we're gonna have to buy new fabric to be put back up. So total cost of that removal, reinstallation is $26,000, is that right? They will come in and replace the fencing as soon as possible after 4th of July.
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
with the
One of those
replacement?
things you have to
The-
do.
the
Doesn't- Doesn't sound like a terrible
That's just,
price.
that's with the material, that's with the replacement?
With new material for the outfield, the center field fence, and then reusing the fence for the left field. On the positive side is that outfield fence was in pretty tough shape, and it'll be nice to have new fencing out there.
And the
Will
lead,
that interfere with any of the Waves games?
Not at all. Nope.
And it will
ledge,
be-
you guys knew it was there, or?
We had a really good idea, and as a matter of fact, there was less ledge, there was no ledge for the building. And even with their test borings, they thought they were gonna hit ledge for the buildings. Come to find out, when they did the test borings, I think what they hit was an old foundation that was there, and they were able to get that out. So the building went in smoothly. The bleachers, we knew there was gonna be ledge there, nobody really knew the extent of it.
How big an area do the bleachers cover, like, roughly?
I think probably the footing itself from the front of the footing near the backstop to the back of the footing towards the building is probably about close to 20 feet. And but it's 2 levels,
Yeah.
so, yeah. And they only hit it over on the left, like the third base side, from like home plate over to the other dugout. But it was almost 3 weeks of continuous rock removal, yeah.
Wow.
So we are mindful that, you know, it's gonna be cordoned off during the 4th of July. Vendor has been very cooperative. They've sat in on the public safety meeting that we had. Because that's blocking that avenue that is usually open between the 2 ball fields, the police did feel very strongly about taking
Yeah,
down
taking that fence down
softball
so
field
people
that
can-
there's egress in multiple directions.
Yeah.
And that is what it is. We're not gonna not do that. We have to do that.
As far as Waves games go, and even Little League, using the field at night, the lights and press box and everything have run off the large diesel generator that's there. We started realizing the amount of fuel we were using just to have the scoreboard on, basically. And so what we just recently did, we hired Holland Electric to come in and take the press box and the scoreboard, pull that off the big generator, and just put it onto a little Honda portable generator. And so now, unless they need the ball field lights, there's no need to start the big generator. And there was, with one Waves game the other night, probably used less than a quarter of the fuel, the diesel fuel that they normally would use. So that's gonna be a big savings for us.
Days are long as could be, so.
I mean, we did the math, and it could have been close to $400 a game it was costing in fuel. Yeah.
All right, thank you, Rex. Old business item 2 is a status report update on the Neighborhood Guild Improvement Project.
We're in the final phase, as is quite evident in the front. They are working on the front entrance alcove, replacing the entire alcove, so the stairs stay, but then that area is being demolished and rebuilt, and that will be the final piece of the project. And we're very excited to have that done, probably by middle of July. There will be some, you know, we've logistically made some accommodations. We are going into summer camp, which the Guild is used for summer camp, so we've notified parents and families of the change, and it's pretty obvious when you drive in, but we want people to be mindful of crossing their kids over. This is a different entrance, it's closer to the entrance to the parking lot, so we have notified everybody that we'll be having kids dropped off here for camp, and when we can, they'll be checking in outside on Village Green on Wednesdays. They're located here. So we're pleased to see it, you know, getting very close to the end, and there will be a final, like some kind of chemical wash to the entire granite building. Give it a little shine. That piece will be done. The Guild is not done, and our neck will be on to other things like still needing HVAC system that it has central air, and looking at the basement now that those locker rooms are not used, that there's going to, you know, we have ideas for what could be a full overhaul for the basement area to be more usable for what our community needs are.
Well, if I could just go back to the Mountain Field, one other point I wanted to bring up was, we don't have any irrigation in the park right now. And it's gonna be some time. So if you go over there and see the baseball outfield and softball outfield, they're drowning up very rapidly. And the only thing we do have, we have enough access to enough water that we can water the baseball infield, and that's it. And that's running off of town water. So, just so if people ask, or if you see it, you'll know. And Jeff worked so hard to reconfigure the system and move the control box and moved the pressure switch and everything down to the well by the pond. And it's all ready to go, but there's just no way to tie it into the power yet. So.
Okay, moving on to section G, new business, item 1. We have a proposed special use rental of a section of the Town Beach parking lot by Sauna on Location, starting in September 6th through October 31st, with an option to extend through April 30th of 2027. And we have a letter from owners Jessica and John Negan with regard to what their operation is and what they're looking to do.
Yes, Jessica and John were here at the last meeting and explained that they're looking for a site to place their sauna on location, which is trailed in, and they were looking at the town beach because it's proximity to the ocean, and they're interested in renting some space. I don't think during the beach operating season is a good idea for us to try to have a vendor in on the beach property. If we're going to do anything, it would be outside of the operating season when the parking lot is open to the public, and it would be confined to a certain area. Now, having said that, it's certainly the commission's purview to say yay or nay to this type of activity. This is a little unique. We do have other businesses and MOUs in place with South County Adventure Boot Camp for Women. They rent space at Broad Rock, and All That Matters rents the town beach for daily yoga classes. Other than that, similar to the food club situation, is that goes through events and other leagues that are renting from us. We do not cite local food establishments in the park. So,
Have we housed any other, not necessarily food, but mobile establishments? I understand, like, South County like the boot camp and the yoga on the beach is an exercise class. They come, it's there. There's no.
Yeah, they have a van, but that's,
They also
Yeah.
pay a rental fee, right?
this thing is
They would
really
have to
cool.
pay.
Yeah, I saw it. I'm
Yeah.
familiar with it. They're running their. I think they're running it out of their property up on the top of by Monsignor Clark over there.
Yeah, I've
Okay.
seen it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a barrel sauna on
It's
a
not
on a
And
flat.
it's like not a locked up, it's something that people put
Yeah.
in advance.
And they wanna do it there because people like to do the cold plunge in the open and walk.
Do the sauna, do a full plunge in the ocean. go back.
That's
So,
correct.
Yeah, so they're talking about strictly this is for strictly off-season from September or after Labor Day until.
Yeah, I mean, what's worded here is really, from my standpoint, is it would be a test run
Right.
for September and October, and then see how that goes, to move it into, if it were a longer term.
Really nice after those
Arrangement.
surf sessions, take your friends over there and get a day to
So just to clarify, what they're not proposing to set it up at the beach and say, hey, if you want to take a sauna, come on down. What they would do is book ahead of time a certain number of people and then say, all right, we're gonna do this at the beach in this spot for these hours. And it's just those people. So, just as if they were gonna drop it at somebody's house. And the owner would be there attending it the entire time, like a 2 hour, 3 hours, 4 hour session, whatever it may be.
Would there be, because they're obviously, I mean, they're making money. Are they offering
Well, there's a
Oh, yeah, there would be a rental, there would
But
be a
it's
rent.
but it's
rental.
not a regular thing. It's as they get booked.
Right,
And
so
then,
I think
but they
we-
want the right to like.
So it would be similar to, I guess, like if somebody wanted to rent a Little League field.
Yeah.
You know, they could go on, we could have it set up in Civic Rec, however they want to do it, but I would think that it would say, all right, hey, can we log into Civic Rec and request a parking spot at the beach?
So they would presumably have to do it every single time they have a booking.
Yeah, oh,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, it would
'Cause
be,
they don't have, I don't think they have book
not
dates.
to my knowledge, no, what it would be is people would reserve it for a specific day and
And
time.
then they would go into Civic Rec and reserve.
Yeah,
that.
they'd have to pay to rent.
Yeah, I
the
mean, so
space.
they use
Hey.
the back part of the parking lot, right?
So we create like a special field for them to register. And so here's my question. I mean, I love me a good sauna and a cold plunge, so I get it. You know, I think it's great, and I think the beach is, obviously a great location for them. What if somebody else wants to do it? I mean, are they the only ones? Do they have exclusivity in this matter? Because if this is a rentable thing that somebody can go into Civic Rec and rent out the ability to bring their trailer or whatever it is. Maybe I have a mobile hot tub. I'm just
Yeah,
for
no,
argument's sake,
Yeah.
just to understand a little bit more about how this would work.
Yeah.
Do they have exclusive rights to this, or can, say, another person decide to, because these mobile saunas are becoming more and more popular, and there are areas of the country, because I kind of went down this sort of sauna internet rabbit hole more than once, where they could get very popular, and now they want to line up 5 of them, and have them all come in on trailers. Do they have exclusivity at the beach, and is this also within our policy manual for this type of business, or would we actually have to amend the policy manual to allow for something like this because it's so new and we haven't even touched upon it? And then other questions arise when whether it's a sauna or any other business like this, off season, we have no staff, no bathroom facilities, so obviously, there will be undoubtedly instances where folks will have to use the facilities. Are they all going to be going into the ocean to do that? Or, are we
Yeah.
going to be providing
Yeah.
a porta-john at that point, or will they be providing a porta-john?
Yeah, he kind of brushed that one off in his
Yeah.
presentation. He was like, "It's not an
Safety
issue."
issues, I mean, we all heard about what happened in Arizona with the sweat tent years ago, so, you know, from a liability and safety issue, would our insurance bless this? You know, to have this at our facility, they are burning wood. So those are, I mean, aside from it being a great idea, those are the things that just pop in my mind as potential discussion points before we say move forward with an approval.
I think that as we move towards finding ways to generate revenue by using our facilities, that I think there needs to be a clarification or a policy on how we can do that fairly and equitably, and what types of businesses, because frankly, you know, with a few of these other rentals that we have now, we could have other businesses come to us and say, well, I want to rent Broad Rock for my exercise class, or I want to rent the Town Beach for my yoga program. And in the future, we may need to bid out that type of opportunity, because there is a level of, okay, well, why one vendor and not another? But that's a broader discussion. We really don't speak to, this one's a little new in terms of it's not like an exercise program or I guess you could say it's health related, but it is a different level, and it is, you know, it requires equipment, and they come and they're on town property, so. I mean, like I said, I've got it here to potentially give it a try. They're the only, as far as I understand, they're the only local, South Kingstown-based mobile sauna business that I'm aware of. I did a search, but, which is nice because it's a local business. But
And that could be something to limit it as well. I mean, as far as like the surf, you know, us being able to do business in Narragansett at the beach, one of the prerequisites is it has to be a business that's in the town. That's why I was always against the surf and women's and events, but, so I mean, that is something that we could, that is very contentious.
It's very contentious.
We all hate each other, but,
Yeah, so.
but yeah, but this is not contentious now, and as a test case, this is, the people seem like they heard their dogs in a row. So, but your question.
you know, I do think your question about, I mean, they're insured, and they would have to add the town as an additional insured, just like other vendors do. So that would
So if someone
cover
has
the
a heart
town,
attack
but
in the sauna, then-
Or
Rex, you
somebody
didn't
gets
check,
burned,
we didn't
is
check
the
the
town
with the trust.
liable? You know, these things are not,
Just because they would be providing the insurance, like $1 million.
Right,
or-
right.
Yeah.
yeah.
And it
I
sounds
mean,
like
I would
it's-
really like to see, I would like to make sure that the town is protected and indemnified to a certain extent, because if somebody gets burned, we permitted them to be there. Yes, they have insurance.
It's kind of like NBX doing bike racing at Old Mountain Field.
Yeah.
So the trust wouldn't insure bike racing in a park,
Okay.
but they will allow NBX to provide insurance, and it comes under them.
Okay.
They're insured for that. The town is covered.
Yeah.
So it's, I would think, I mean, obviously it would be a good idea to say, hey, here's what we're proposing, they're gonna be fully insured, run it by the trust. But it's kind of similar to that.
Yeah, that's like us, again, it's like this, we've been in the surf business at Narragansett Beach for 20-some years. We pay X amount to the beach, the insurance is on us. An independent thing within a public space, which adds flavor to the community.
I think, yeah, I'm all for all of those points, and I think that it's definitely a unique opportunity to utilize our facility beyond its typical operation season. I think that whenever you have a new thing like this, asking these questions and possibly, you know, taking a look at our policy manual and making sure that we kind of check off some boxes, because if this thing does have some wind under its sails, it's going to be popular and they're going to want to put another one. And that is, or once it gets out there into the community, there could be another operator that may want to do a similar thing. So, which is great. I mean, you know, but just being able to make sure that we have our ducks in a row in order to approve this would make me feel better as far as me, you know, voting on a motion to say, yeah, let's go for it. And also the bathroom facilities, they're when there's people in a park over a 3-4 hour period, they're gonna need to do something. So, at some point, especially sauna, you drink a ton of water, you know, some may cold plunge in the ocean, some may not, but I'm just wondering, you know, what the best route for that would be.
Well, if we're proposing September and October, there's, you know, I could come back with a policy recommendation or language or some type of policy, but it'll be broader based because it's going to encompass any type of vendor. Because this is basically what, you know, at this point would happen is now as a town, we're allowing various for-profits to do business on town property.
But
So
the
that-
precedent is, I mean, like you said, with, even though they're low impact, the precedent is set with the yoga and with the boot camp.
Makes sense too.
They're making
the
a
boot-
profit on
True,
town property as
but the
well.
boot camp, they have restroom facilities right there.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, those, but they're
Well,
year-round
and those all
regularly
had to
dog
be
parks.
approved by us too, so we
Yeah.
don't have to
Right.
approve every
Right.
person
No,
who
no.
comes in.
No,
They
no, I'm
are,
not- I'm
we
not saying that
have
at all.
decided that they are in conjunction with like Holiday Community and fit our
Definitely
mission.
lines up with our mission
So,
statement.
we have some say over who comes to do business on town property.
You do.
And
But
it
it's
would be
still,
s-
like,
It
the
is.
bidding piece could be something that could come up, because if there is an equity, a question about why one business and not another, that's kind of a purchasing, if you will, guideline that you could put it out to bid, looking for a
Right,
local
that's-
business, a
yeah, that's where we
locally
just have to
based
be careful,
business
right.
that, not to pigeonhole it so that it's, there's only one option, but
Well, because it's new. Like right now, we have language with regard to food. Like for Caprice's standpoint, could she ask to park her mobile
Mhm.
coffee truck at the beach at that same time? No.
Because it doesn't, it should have to be able to be outside our policy.
Right. So right now, we don't have a policy that accommodates ancillary businesses that are not food at all. Okay.
I can't think of any other.
Field of Artisans,
Oh, yeah, Field of Artisans. That's okay.
So that's a special use permit.
Rental, right?
yeah, it used to be an annual approval by the commission, and
Yeah.
then after 7 or 8 years, the commission said, you know what, we approve this from this point forward, you don't need to
Right.
come to the commission every year.
But that's like a regular thing where they're setting up, we know they're gonna be there.
Farmers
um,
market too.
You know, they have facilities to utilize, right?
There's Marina
Yeah.
Park.
Field of Arsons, yeah. Because this is in essence, it's also a little bit on the, I mean, obviously, I'm sure the Megans are fully honest folks, but it's a little bit of an honor system by way of, you know, if they're not, like Field of Artisans have a designated time and day, and, you know, they'll have a booking one day, maybe not another day, and that's when they come down, and then, you know, they'll have to go into Civic Rec, or just, we'll take their word for it that they were there or not there.
Maybe it would be ahead of time, say, all right, X number of these dates, preset it.
Yeah, maybe.
if they might, I don't know, maybe they'd be interested in doing that. It's worth having a conversation.
You know, but they're not gonna wanna pay if they don't have a booking, you know, that would be going opposite direction.
And they also don't wanna have to turn away bookings because they don't have that day.
Or a different time, like if they have the flexibility to like bring it at a time that works for their clients,
Mhm.
you know, they're probably gonna wanna be a little pliable, I would imagine. It's sauna on demand, right? So,
Yeah.
but anyway, really cool idea. Again, these are the questions that I have.
So should we let's table it and think about it, maybe give some thought?
Some thought to it, like you said, like it's what policy you would.
Just to
We
take
can come
into,
back
I'd
with
like
a-
to think
with
taking the
policy
insurance, 'cause the
language
insurance will
and-
cover them, but to make sure that we're
covered
covered
legally against any liability.
And the bathroom issue is kind of next to me.
I'm sorry?
The bathroom issue
Issue is something that's kind of like.
tricky to reconcile to.
Because when people rent facilities for events, we make them have porta johns. But this is different, like, if they're only there for 4 hours, that's a length of an event, I guess, but. And then does it become not worth it?
Right.
For them.
For them, yeah. If they're getting $400 for a booking for 4 hours, which I think is what they said it was. If they have to rent a porta for, must be at least 2 for a day, right?
I can certainly come back to you with,
Well, they could even have one there.
risk,
that they
you know,
just
a
pay
risk
for.
assessment, which I don't think that is an issue because the way the, insurance.
I pay $90 a month.
Oh, that's it?
Once a month.
Oh, yeah, that's
Yeah.
no job.
Yeah.
Yeah, that should be added.
Maybe we can do a trial for like September, October.
I think that's what you
Yeah,
said,
and so
right?
maybe next month, if you're comfortable with what I can provide you with information and,
Put a job.
policy language to move forward with, that.
Do you guys have a specific location that you would want them to be?
In the
I mean,
parking lot.
in my, I kind of envision like the back corner of that, not the overflow lot, but the lot number 3, I guess.
So they're not.
It's like a kind of a grassy area,
Okay.
easy access to the ocean through the picnic area there.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Can you almost see that from the pavilion?
Yeah, if you're up on the boardwalk in the pavilion, you can see
On the
that,
backside,
yeah.
Restroom side,
Maybe we should have our meeting in their sauna.
Next month, be like, all right, you want the spot?
You wanna see it?
Bring the sauna, we wanna try
Wanna
this out.
inspect?
So what's the plan, guys? We spoke about bathroom facilities, we spoke about insurance. Seems like everybody's on board with the trial, if those things can be vetted out. Are we pushing it to next month for,
Well, somebody needs to make a motion if that's what you like motion to table to next month for questions to be answered and.
Yeah, let's
Reconsideration.
Let's table this until next month and look at a couple of these issues and come to a decision on a trial for September, October at our next meeting in July.
motion by
Porta
Matt,
john, yeah. And second.
second by Joanne? Okay. Terry? Okay. Any further discussion?
No?
Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None, ayes have it. We'll revisit July. We have one more request from S. Vasquez of SOS Ballers AAU Basketball. They'd like to rent the rec center courts during non-operating hours on August 1st, I guess for a tournament, 10:30 a.m. to 6:45 p.m.
Yes, this is actually for tryouts for the program. Steve Broomberg had put this by me, and we would have a staff person there. They would be required to pay for that staff person to be there. They would rent both courts for 6 hours. It would cost $360 to rent the courts, and then an additional approximately $100 for a staff person to be in the building while they're there. $462 to approximately. And it's a way for us to generate a little extra revenue. The building's not in use, because we're closed on the weekends in the summertime. And Steve's comfortable with it. So we're,
Good.
Make a motion to
Put that through.
By Matt,
Second it.
second by Joanne. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, unanimous. Division reports. Let's do the rec division first. Why not?
sure.
Becca, she's been so quiet over there tonight. I haven't heard much.
So month of May, we opened the beach. We had a few rough, cloudy, rainy weekends, but now the past 2 weekends have been beautiful. We're getting our staff in full swing. We've had the guards training. Still looking for another beach attendant for the gate position.
We need one more.
One more, yeah. We had some returners, then ended up finding other jobs in the in-between. So that position's been reposted.
How old do they have to be?
I believe 16.
Okay.
Okay.
Grab some kids off the street.
The applications have come through. We're just trying to set up interviews at this point.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's still active on the.
But
town
you do have
website.
some applicants.
Kind of. We reposted it last week. I think we've had 3 come in so far. And that's usually our most popular position. But we closed it early because we thought all of our returners were coming back, and then we found out Memorial Day weekend that not all of them were. So, but so far being weekends only, everything as far as the gate goes, guards, all of that's been well. This is our first week now that we've gone full time. So today is our first Monday being open regular, and we'll be open regular through Labor Day, weather dependent. We are now using Civic Rec as opposed to Constant Contact for our weekly emails, which has allowed us to broaden the number of people we can reach. We can also use Civic Rec to target different age demographics, locations, various things within the reportings portal to reach out to people as well as promote our programming. So we're able to kind of dial that in a little bit more than what we could do in the past. So we've done now 2 newsletters in May, and now we're trying to get on a weekly rotation of it. So we're rolling that out. And, outside of our general programming, we're now, like I said, beach is full time. We're gearing up for our camp season. We have 170 camps for this summer projected to run. Busy summer lined up.
Wow.
Sounds
Awesome.
like it.
Any questions?
Really? Any of the camps?
New things this year?
We have a new cheerleading camp, and we're off the top of my head. We're offering a color guard and dance camp combo, which is new as opposed to having 2 separate camps. Then we have our, our tried and true. We have our traditional, our discovery camp. We have all our sport-related camps, very sport-specific. I can't remember off the top of my head if any brand new besides
That's
those
funny,
2.
yeah, that sounds
Questions for like that?
Set?
Sounds
No?
good. Junior Adventures Day, that sounds cute.
Yeah, that was a good one.
I like that.
All right. One final time, Mr. Rex.
So on the park side, this, Jeff Banks provided this update on special projects, and I'll comment on each one of those. And Jeff, feel free to jump in at any time and add to any of the explanations I have. The Riverwalk, that project is pretty well wrapped up. We had Just Martell put in some new pads for benches and trash receptacles, and True North Incorporated recently replaced the asphalt sidewalk. It was all heaved up and cracked with root intrusion and everything, so the only thing we're waiting on is the new benches and trash receptacles to come in. We'll put those in place, so that was a nice nice finish to that whole project, with the boardwalk being revamped last year, and then the new walkway and everything. So it kind of connects the whole Saugatucket Park with the pedestrian bridge, and a lot of people, as we're working over there, I never realized how many people do that whole loop through Saugatucket, around the end of High Street and back up through the boardwalk. So we had a lot of positive comments during that.
People like to watch the turtles over there.
Yeah, yep. Marina Park, the parking lot expansion is complete. D'Ambra Construction did a great job, and it's getting fully used.
And that's at the Route 1 end, they cleared out those little bit of woods and expanded over that
Towards the
fence.
highway.
Towards the highway.
Towards the highway,
Yeah,
yep,
yeah.
yep. And so we are in the process of, over the next week or two, we'll be painting some lines on the crushed stone there to help direct parking a little bit. As far as opening the town beach, I would say this was probably one of the better years, needing minimal amounts of sand to get the beach back up and running. We only, I think, got two loads of sand, just to kind of top dress the yoga area. The rest of the beach is in really, really nice condition. We started grooming it on a daily basis, so that'll help keep it nice every day. The usual couple of plumbing breaks here and there that Jeff and his staff were right on immediately and got those taken care of. We talked about Old Mountain Field. Tuckertown Park, the SK Little League recently purchased a couple of new scoreboards. We agreed to install them, but in order to do that, Jeff and the guys had to move one of the poles over a little bit. It was unfortunately only had to move it about 6 inches, but you might have well moved it, 10 feet. It just takes the same amount of work. So they were able to get that done. They put the scoreboard up, and then we had Holland Electric come and rewire them. So they're all up and running, and it's a nice improvement to the Little League fields down there, just in time for their all-star games. Staffing updates, obviously, Jeff provided, he has been in this role for a couple of weeks, and him and I have been working together on pretty much everything. He's well-versed now in civic rec, in our financial program, Munis. He's doing day-to-day communications with youth leagues. So he's easing into the job very well. Actually, hitting the ground running, I should say, not easing in. So. And then Todd Godlap was recently promoted to Assistant Park Superintendent. And we are in the process of interviewing for the open foreman's position, which Todd was the park foreman. So then we may or may not have an open park tech position, so that it's kind of a domino effect upwards. But and then Jeff, I don't know if you want to update on Heather Bailey, our park maintenance technician who broke her ankle this winter shoveling snow. So
yeah, she had to have a second surgery. They put a temporary pin in to keep everything from moving. They took that out last Tuesday or Wednesday. So we're guessing 4 to 6 weeks before she comes back, maybe. Hopefully less. But she's in good spirits. Yeah.
Early February, was that when?
Yeah, the blizzard. So
It was
the
the
first
blizzard, yeah.
first week
Towards the
of
end.
first 2 weeks of
Yeah.
10?
Yeah. And then Jeff provided a nice graph of dispersion of park responsibilities, and he does. I think this is great. The calendar that he does really kind of gives you just a snapshot of what got done every day throughout the month.
Color-coded?
It was color.
Well, ours.
You got the black and white.
We get the
all
black
right,
and white.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you.
we tried.
Very nice.
Great. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Would someone like to make a motion
make a
to
motion.
approve the commission, division reports?
Approve the commission reports.
Second that motion.
Motion by-
Welcome, Jeff.
All right. Motion by Joanne, second by Matt. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous? So moved. Our next meeting of the South Kingstown Recreation Commission will be July 20th at 6:30 p.m. and that one's going to be at South Kingstown Town Beach.
July 20th.
Be there or be square.
I'm putting that in the stick in place so I don't have to call Terry on the day of the meeting.
Are we meeting today?
I'm gonna put it in my calendar right now. I'm so sorry.
No, that's okay, but you should be getting, so the emails aren't coming
I'm gonna
from
find,
me.
yeah, it's,
They're coming from Civic Clerk,
That's right.
Yeah.
and I don't know
It's like a
what
no
the-
reply at Civic Clerk, so you have to make sure it
Yes.
doesn't go to your spam, because
I'll double-
sometimes.
yeah, I'll double
Yeah,
check.
double
Maybe
check,
what
because,
happens, I was
because
looking
we're
for-
using that system now, we're supposed to post it, and then it will get sent to board members, then I can add on staff.
Sure.
And it's a good system, but you gotta get used to it, like,
Yeah, cause
But-
I had old ones that I just looked up Teresa and then you always.
yes,
have one.
right.
Okay, guys, unless there's any further business, we can make a motion to adjourn.
I just had one question.
Go ahead.
Did that, the thing with the alcohol in the parks, did that go before town council yet?
It did.
Did they shoot it down?
They did not, so they approved the Wakefield Village Association for their river fire events in Saugatucket Park.
I have to say, just for Joanne's sake, I did have second thoughts on it afterward. I wish I had voted with you, Joanne, and then we would have split it. When I thought about it, so, yeah, but it wouldn't have mattered because they passed it anyways, yeah. Yeah.
Well, we'll see how it goes.
We'll see how it goes,
We'll-
yeah.
We'll see
Yeah,
how
I
it goes.
mean, hopefully it all goes well.
Cool.
But I just feel like we also have a policy, it's been a nice long time about no alcohol in the parks. And I don't wanna see that really totally broken down.
It is, yeah. But anyways,
don't
I
need
just wanted to
alcohol
let
to
you, I
have
just wanted to
fun.
let you know,
It's not healthy.
I had second thoughts on it, you know,
Yeah.
I just.
Those guys are efficiency.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I thought in the end. Just a good
I missed that one, yeah. No proxy.
The next meeting, I actually am coming home from a wedding. And, it might, is there,
Okay.
You wanna make a motion to adjourn?
is there
by the
anyone
way,
else?
this
Oh, yes,
morning?
let's-
Let's
I'll
make a motion to adjourn.
adjourn.
Okay, motion by Matt, second by Joanne.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay.